Last time,
The three musketeers learned that Guy is missing. He went into the ruins looking for supplies to help the refugees pouring into Westman. Wyatt, a knight from the south, asked them to go after them, since it seemed like they didn't have anything better to do. In the ruins, follow arrows painting at the floor, and this leads them to an underground subway system. After destroying some skeletons and traveling on the train, they come face to face with a fish person wearing Guy's trademark pot helmet.
Why are ghosts so popular at parties? It's because they bring all the booze.
Dungeons and Dragons and Daughters.
everyone, welcome to another thrilling adventure of Dungeons and Dragons and Daughters.
Woot.
I'm Kurt. I'm Daddy, the Dungeon Master. Sam?
She doesn't have to say her name.
Sam is playing Mr. Legs today. Birdie.
I'm playing the Izzy.
No, Sam is playing Mr. Legs, who is playing Mimi.
Mr. Legs is playing me.
Mr. Legs is playing me.
You're playing
today.
Mr. Legs. I like it. It's a character within a character.
Yeah, and Mimi,
it's a meta performance.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Like
about
a dream
this.
inside of a dream.
It's like Robert Downey Jr.'s performance in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you
So, but Mimi is the elf druid. Birdie, who are you playing? Galaxy.
I'm Birdie.
Birdie's playing Galaxy, the elf wizard. And we
Galaxy's
have
playing Birdie.
Matt, returning as Dave. And excited about it, as always.
our favorite halfling cleric, Dave.
Very favorite halfling character.
Okay, do you have your pencils? Because we got a couple of housekeeping items that we need to get through. Get your pencils, get your dice.
Okay, get my dad.
So while you're getting those together, but a couple of things about the show. So we've got two different sets of house cleaning I need to get through. So the first one being, I want to do a shout out to rpgcast.com. I forgot to do a shout out to Tess in the last episode. She has a site that lists out RPG podcasts like Dungeons and Dragons and Daughters. She has a special focus on promoting podcasts with women, LGBTQ, and people of color. So thanks, Tess, for listing us on your site. And again, that site is rpgcast.com.
Woohoo!
Awesome.
We got another iTunes reviews from Sam Culper. He says, enjoy the show. Keep it up. If you like podcasts, please check these folks out and support their independent podcasters. Keep listening. So thank you, Sam, for the review. I do also want to call out that since last time, we had someone give us 2 stars in a review on iTunes and didn't say anything beyond just 2 stars.
What's up with that?
So if you're hearing this, well, thanks for taking the time for rating us. I guess we'll just try and do better.
2 stars.
2 stars. It seems oddly specific. 2 stars, right?
Yes.
I would have
us as 1 star.
I would have expected there to be some sort of feedback with 2 stars because
an explanation of such
At least we have a
a
star.
deliberate score.
Right.
Or rating, I should say.
I'd give us a 250.
it's a scale of 1 to 5 stars.
Oh, okay.
I used that 1.
Hyperbole is merely a measure of her enthusiasm.
Also, Tales from the Fandom is another podcast that I listen to. I was a guest on the podcast Tales from the Fandom, which is hosted by David Ginsburg. Cool. Had a great time, and want to give him a shout out, and thanks for having me on. In that episode, we talk about Dune. Matt, you'll appreciate that because I go on a bit of a rant on how much I hate the new Dune books.
I'll have to listen to it.
We talk about Star Trek, and of course, we talk about Dungeons and Dragons and Daughters on there. So folks should check out Tales from the Fandom. But David also has another podcast that just came out called Tales from the Five Nations. It's not D&D rules, but it takes place in the world of Eberron, which I think is a D&D world.
I'm not sure.
But they're using different mechanics for playing it. Anyway, I'm excited to listen to it and hear more about this world and game system that David and his players are using. One last thing, Josh, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Josh. He reached out to me on Facebook to tell us how much he liked our podcast, and it's influencing how he plays D&D at home with his daughter. I sent some chicken scratch of notes and tables to show how I do my planning for our D&D sessions and sent those along, and I hope they help Josh and and help him keep playing and keep dungeoning and dragoning. So that's the show. So now...
Oh, that's the show, so goodbye!
No. Those were the housekeeping items for the show. So now we have the housekeeping items for Dungeons & Dragons. So technically, let's play some Dungeons & Dragons.
I thought we just did.
All right. So,
That was
Matt,
20 weeks ago.
we didn't get into this last time when Nuala was playing Deb because she was new. She didn't know anything about Dungeons & Dragons. I didn't want to get us bogged down into some of this maintenance stuff that we'd have to do. But last time you were with us, we destroyed the werewolf monster, the master werewolf, and we were surrounded by a bunch of treasure and other magical items
Ooh, yeah, I remember
and
that.
gold and stuff like that from his treasure hold. And I said that we were going to take care of that stuff later on. So, a couple things that we found from that you folks are going to want to write into your character sheets. So, I'm going to do this randomly. Let's see here. Dave, you now have a potion of invulnerability. And, Dave again, you also have a potion of water breathing. Mimi, you get the potion of acid resistance.
Where do we write?
On your second sheet,
Yeah.
there should be lots of, not your spell sheet, there should be lots of open
Treasure,
spots. Yeah, treasures. You could write some of this stuff in. Galaxy,
Yeah.
you find a scroll of power word kill. It's a very ominous sounding
Very
spell.
Powerful. I think, is that a necromancy spell?
I think that's the School of Magic, and I'd have to look it up. But it's
also see-
when you cast this spell, you basically just point at something and say die, and they die. It's a very powerful spell. This is the most powerful spell that Galaxy has ever come across.
Yeah, so I just say kill, kill, kill. no,
Is it a one-time use scroll?
It is
a
a-
scroll she can learn.
It's a
from?
one-time use
Wait,
scroll.
can you cast a spell on Dave saying kill himself?
No, you're not. You're not killing Dave. Don't kill Dave.
I mean, you do get a chance to roll a saving throw.
No.
Oh, I thought you did with
no,
power word stun and kill.
No, with power word kill, you're dead.
Huh. I
If-
could have swore there was a saving throw.
Unless if you're over a certain amount of hit points, then it doesn't work. So, power word kill. You utter a word of power that can compel one creature you can see within range to die instantly.
Could I say poop?
If the creature you choose has 100 hit points or fewer, it dies.
That's right.
Can
Yeah.
I say
Otherwise, the spell has no effect.
Oh, okay.
There's no
it's just
saving
gotta-
throw.
It's just got a hit point in
Can
that.
I
Yeah.
say to someone and say, yo, poop, and the word is poop?
No, because the power word is kill.
It's kill. It's
Can
not.
It's
I
not
do
poop.
Killy Willy?
So, but maybe
No,
you
because then you won't have cast the spell correctly.
maybe in your
Kill.
downtime, Galaxy could develop a new spell that's power word poop. and you make someone poop their
unicorn.
pants. And Mimi, you find a scroll. You find a scroll of anti-magic field. This is a very, very powerful spell as well.
Ooh, what does it do?
A 10-foot radius, invisible sphere of anti-magic surrounds you. This area is divorced from the magical energy that suffuses the multiverse. Within the sphere, spells can't be cast, summoned creatures disappear, and even magic items become mundane. Until the spell ends, the sphere moves with you, centered on you. Spells and other magical effects, except those created by an artifact or a deity, are suppressed in the sphere and can't protrude into it. A slot expended to cast a suppressed spell is consumed. While an effect is suppressed, it doesn't function, but the time it spends suppressed counts against its duration. There's a lot of stuff here. I'm not going to read through all of
Yeah,
this.
you can go over it later, and then
But-
whenever you sheet.
But basically, it's like really powerful. Like if there's like a magical creature, like they can't exist without magic. If they enter this field, they just cease to exist.
Yeah.
Do they
Um,
just die?
Yeah. Like magic can't be cast in it. If someone tries to cast a spell at you, as soon as it hits the sphere, it goes away. So where we left off last time, the three of you had just gotten off of the train, the subway.
Down in the dungeon or the ruins.
Yep, and we had traveled a long ways away from where we were at. We got out, and then the train sped back the other way that it came from. So now we're in the dark. And
Oh yeah, and I'm the only one who doesn't have dark vision.
Right.
But she
I
cast her
cast-
dancing lights.
correct. And that's when
your hand.
this fish person, Kua-Toa is the name of these people, but it's You may remember way back when we first met Guy, he fought off one of these fish people in the boat.
Yeah.
And he accidentally whacked it across the head with his oar. And that's how he got his oar as his weapon, because it seemed to work so effective against fighting against monsters. So, but this is a little, I shouldn't say it's little, it's bigger than Dave. It's like 5 feet tall. So actually it's about the same size as the girls, because they're elves. You get out of the train takes off, and you start going through the rock opening, and you kind of find a little trail that goes through the rock. And you come across this Kua-Toa, this little fish person. And he's got kind of a rough spear in one hand. He's got this weird looking leather shield in the other. And it seems to be covered with some sort of gunk on the front of its shield. But on top of his head, most noteworthy, is he's got Guy's pot on top of his head.
And then I say, you don't see this every day.
You don't see this every day. So what do you do?
I asked,
What you want?
do you know anybody named Guy?
G-U-I.
The fish person, he cocks his head to the side. And he goes,
Nod head if you know English, shake head if you don't know English.
Come.
He let me try.
I say in Elvish, do you speak Elvish?
Yeah,
And then in
no,
Dwarvish, what
I
about
can
Dwarvish?
speak any, I can speak to
Or
any
halfling
animal.
in halfling.
Pula?
Okay.
No, Daddy, I can speak to any animal.
It's not an animal. It's a
What does he?
It's a creature.
yeah.
What
Galaxy,
type of
do
language
you have
does-
magic that you can use to communicate?
I can only read.
Oh.
Do you have any? What is his language?
He starts to step away from you as the three of you start talking about like how you could communicate with this creature. And not that he's like trying to retreat, he actually takes a couple steps back and he motions with the hand with the shield in it to like for you to come follow him.
I walk toward him.
Okay.
He let me say something.
He stops and he looks at you.
You're gonna insult him.
He shakes his head and he turns around and he keeps walking.
I don't know what I'm saying.
He doesn't know what you're saying either. So you follow him. So you got your dancing lights out, so Dave can see the way, and you're following behind. He's not moving very fast. He seems to be moving at a pretty nonchalant rate. I want the three of you to roll. Guess what? Perception check.
Of course. Don't worry, Dave. I'll hold your hand so you don't be scared of the dark.
Dave's not afraid of the dark.
I got 21.
Dave is always
Nice.
afraid of the dark. He needs a nightlight when
He's not afraid of anything.
He needs
I got
he needs a nightlight when he sleeps.
Oh, she got a natural 1.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Now you have to make up something that she does.
I'm gonna die.
And I got a 19.
I'm
Okay.
gonna get a concussion.
So-
Dave got it.
All right, so Dave and Mimi, you're walking behind this fish person, and you do start to hear some noise coming up from around the bend. You can tell that this fish person is leading us towards something, and you hear that it sounds like that there's maybe more people that's just right around the bend. Galaxy, you don't hear any of this. You're oblivious to it.
It's like,
In fact, you like quicken your step to actually catch up to the fish person and are walking side by side with him now,
And I'm like-
about ready to turn the corner.
I'm like, no,
He doesn't respond back to you
no,
when you say
you're
that.
singing your favorite song.
You guys, I got a bad feeling about this.
Me too.
Galaxy doesn't hear you.
Galaxy, can I trot up and catch up to her?
You two roll an initiative. I want to see who goes first.
oh, dude, I got 11.
You got 11? Okay.
Oh, okay, so she had gone first.
So she goes first. So she's oblivious to everything. She doesn't hear anything. And so Galaxy, you turn the corner with the fish person. And there are 7 more fish people standing there. And every single one of them is armed. And a couple of them look like that they're armed better than the others. They look like that they've got some like tridents and weird looking pincher staves, and some of them are carrying nets.
This is my
It's a trap.
face. This is my face.
Do you guys catch up too, or do you gonna want to try and stay behind around the corner?
Well, I don't
just
want to
run
leave
away.
Galaxy.
Okay, like that.
I don't want to leave Galaxy to.
Oh, and
Okay.
I'm afraid she's gonna turn into a bunny.
So I was trying to catch up with Galaxy, and I would be still trying to catch up with her, and
All right. So Galaxy and this fish person turn the corner, and they stop, and then you and Mimi, I imagine, are running up behind them, and then stop up short behind them when you see the 7 other fish creatures standing there.
No, when
Armed and standing aggressively.
No,
Not standing aggressively, but they are all armed.
So when I turn the corner, running, and then I see them, and I slowly back, and then you turn into a bunny
Just
and run
moonwalk
away.
away.
And then she turns into a bunny and runs away.
All right. Well, I'm not going to do anything right away.
So they're all standing there. They don't make any aggressive movements towards you, but they start talking to each other. So they talk and converse with the one fish person that led you here, and they go back and forth, and you see some like nodding and agreement that's happening throughout the rest of the group. And you think he's the leader. He's the biggest one. He seems to have the nicest weapons, which
The
still
one who's been leading us?
no, it's another one that's in the group.
Okay.
So he steps forward. Mimi, he goes to you. And he looks at you in the eye with his big, bulbous fish eyes. And you see his eyes go down to your belt, where your scimitar is. And he points at it, and then holds out his hand.
He wants you to give him your sword.
No.
He reaches for your sword.
I turn a little.
So you actively, it's like you pull back from him, huh? Okay. And he points angrily at your sword again.
You want my sword? No.
Can you write down it so I can understand?
That's when a couple more of the fish people walk forward. And Dave, they're eyeing your mace.
I don't know that Dave would be all that interested in parting with his mace.
Then I just put
But I
my,
don't know, a little torn.
then I just took my wand and put it behind my back.
Oh, roll sleight of hand.
18 plus 3. So
Okay.
21.
So, all right. You do a great job. You managed to just very quickly, just
That's awesome.
out of everyone's purview, you hide your magic wand in your belt behind you.
Yeah, I need it. Well, I don't need it, but it's powerful.
Right. So their actions are starting to get a little bit more aggressive towards the
They
two
want
of
us
you.
to disarm.
They kind of forgot about Galaxy because she doesn't look like she has any weapons on
Right.
her.
Right.
They're like,
They
she's
want us to
innocent.
disarm, but I don't know. I'd be reluctant to part with my mace because it's unique, it's special to my order, and who knows if I'm going to get it back.
Right. Not only is it a powerful magical relic, it is your symbol of your religion and of your goddess.
Sacred.
Right.
We both have means of defending ourselves without our weapons, but I'm not eager to part with mine. But we also need to figure out what's going on.
Oh, what I do? So,
They might just be taking us to a prison cell, too.
so what I do is I hand him a javelin, and so he wouldn't take my scimitar.
He takes that. He gets a little less aggressive because it seems like you're starting to comply. But you could tell he still wants he still wants the scimitar that's on your hip.
This is me.
Really? Okay, look here,
All right.
fish eye.
I'm not giving him my mace.
Okay.
Look
I step
here.
back and I say no.
All right, so one guy reaches for it. You pull back away from him, and in shifting, you come in contact with his slimy body, and you got some sort of leverage or angle on him, and you accidentally knock him to the floor.
Uh-oh. So it was just an unfortunate event.
Right. So now we are going to roll initiative.
Okay.
You guys made the decision that you're not going to be handing over your weapons, so we're going to go into combat. So Galaxy, you actually go first. What are you going to do?
Should I do Melf's acid arrow?
Sure.
Because it's a really good one,
Mhm.
isn't it?
Yep.
So I'll shoot up.
But there's a lot of them, so
I
that
know.
Melf's acid arrow can only target one creature at a time. So you might want to think about.
I know, but I'm going to do like the leader so then he can't.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to. So you need to. So Melf's acid arrow is a ranged spell attack. So you need to roll to hit him.
13 plus 6, so 19.
19. Okay, that's definitely a hit. So do you know what the damage is on your Melf's acid arrow is?
44.
4d4. Okay.
Yeah, for the turn.
So roll 4d4 for me.
1. 1. 1. 1.
4 ones. Oh man, you shoot out your hand. Actually, you would have pulled your wand, out from behind your back again, and pointed that at the head guy. And so then this green arrow shoots out from it and hits him. I'm gonna say it hits him in the hip.
Ooh.
Dave, it's your turn now.
Okay, so Dave is gonna conjure his spiritual weapon,
Okay.
and that's a bonus action.
Right.
And then I can use a melee spell attack to.
So then you get to attack with your regular mace and then this spiritual weapon mace
No,
as well.
because I'm doing a melee attack, so I don't think I get to do a physical attack as well.
Oh,
Now, next round,
next round you can do
then
both.
I can attack with it as a bonus action.
Got it.
But this time conjuring as the bonus action. I got a 13 to hit.
And who are you going after? One of the little guys or the main dude?
I was gonna go after the main dude.
But I got control.
He's the closest and the biggest and seemingly the most deadly.
Okay.
And also, I thought maybe if they lose their leader, they might be less effective or run away or something.
Okay. You got a 13?
Yeah.
That's a hit.
All right, cool. So it does 9 force damage.
9 damage. Okay. It's the guy that you attacked, that Dave just attacked. It's his turn now, and he's going to strike back out at you.
Okay.
Oh. Why didn't
19
you
armor
do
class,
me?
baby.
And he does hit.
Oh, dang.
But he reaches out with this weird kind of like grappling spear thing.
Okay.
And you see as it comes towards you, it looks like it's got some built-in mechanisms into it. So
Uh-oh.
it opens up
Yeah.
and it grabs onto you, like around the neck.
Oh, jeez.
I want you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Ugh, got a 9.
You got a 9? Okay. It latches onto you and you are now grappled and prone on the ground.
Okay.
You don't take any damage, but it's like he's got you
got me down.
around the neck, and he forced you down onto the ground now.
Gotcha.
Dory, I was song for you. I get down, but I'm gonna put it.
All right, Mimi, it is your turn.
Sphere.
All right, flaming sphere.
Nice.
Flaming.
And are you going to cast that onto the main fish guy?
Yes.
All right. All right. So this 5-foot flaming sphere appears in the darkness. So that means your dancing lights will go out. Okay. So, Dave, just calling this out because it is dark in the caves that we're at. So the dancing lights go out, but it gets suddenly much brighter because this 5-foot sphere of flame appears and lights up everything much brighter. And, all right, so the big guy, he gets a dexterity saving throw to see if he gets out of the way, and he does not. He's too busy grappling with Dave right now to notice this flaming sphere that has just appeared behind him and slams into him. Can you roll the damage for it?
I got a 1.5, so 6.
So 6. Okay.
And I get to do Flaming Spear every time.
Correct, because you're concentrating on the spell right now, and you can move it around and slam it into different creatures if you want. All right. So now, the 6 other fish people, the 6 other Kua-Toas, are going to attack at you.
Ew.
All right. So they're going to go. I'm just going to put 2 on each of you.
How rude.
Mimi, what's your armor class?
13.
13. Okay. First one is a miss. Second one is a miss. But the third one does hit with a spear.
Am I next?
Yes, I will do you next.
Ice cream cake.
For the record, you need to do that on your turn. So when you were first able to act, you should have said that right away. I'll let you do that now, but you need to remember you need to do it on your turn.
Never told me.
Okay. Mimi, you take 8 points of piercing damage. All right, Galaxy.
Sorry, that wasn't my intention.
The first one that attacks you, he got a critical hit.
Wait, are you talking to me?
Talking to Galaxy
Galaxy.
now. And Galaxy, you take 11 points of damage from that spear hit.
I'm at 11 now.
And one more guy hits you. Now, I want to call out Galaxy. You need to start getting on the ball with your spells a little bit more, because you do have a shield spell. That it's a reactionary spell. You can use a reaction to cast this spell, and it will bump your armor class up to 19. So this guy's going to hit you with his spear. Do you want to use a spell slot to do your reaction to bump up your armor class to 19? Remember, it's a one-time use. It uses up one of your spell slots, but it lets you potentially avoid getting hit. Would you like to use that now?
Wait. Yep.
You see that there? Okay. Do you want to do that right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you react very quickly. You throw your hand up, and this magical barrier, this clear, almost invisible magical barrier, appears in front of you, and the spear glances off of it.
Very cool.
All right, so Dave is on the ground.
They get advantage against me then, huh?
Yeah, they do get advantage. 2 of them hits.
I haven't actually taken any damage yet.
So they come at you with spears. You take 5 points of damage from the first spear, and only 2 points of damage from the second spear. And the big guy, he seems to be just focused on keeping you down on the ground and keeping you grappled. That's what he's doing right now. Galaxy, it is your turn now.
Remember, he takes some damage.
Oh yes, he does. He does take the acid damage. I think that's another 2d4. So roll that for me.
There you go.
2,
Okay.
2.
It was much better.
All right, now Galaxy, what are you gonna do?
I am going to do something. I'm going to say, why have you been doing? Oh, but then I can't understand them.
Yeah.
Right. There's no sense trying to communicate. We just got to win the fight.
Well, not necessarily.
Oh?
I don't want to
I suppose-
pigeonhole them too much into the actions that they can do. Fighting
yeah.
is not always
No,
the
you're right.
always
You're-
the option.
You're totally right. I was just thinking of the point of view of being in the fight, but I suppose we could always surrender or run away.
Burning Hands level 1.
So with everybody that's around you right now, I would say that you could, if you focus it on the main guy for Burning Hands, I will let you hit 3 of the smaller guys as well. So Burning Hands, you cast that, they get a dexterity saving throw. And what's your spell DC?
So spell save DC
Yep.
15.
Jesus, that high.
Very nice.
The main guy, he makes it. So he's only going to take half damage, but the other 3 smaller Kua-Toas, they do not. But the benefit of him making it is that he had to jump out of the way, and he actually released Dave. So Dave is no longer grappled, but
There
you are
you
still
go.
prone.
There you go.
All right, roll the damage for me, please.
Okay, so 4, 4, 6.
Nice.
14.
All right, so the big guy, he'll take half damage from that. All right, so the 3 Kua-Toas that you had hit, you hit them really, really good. So
Nice.
they are not looking great right now. All right, so now it is Dave's turn.
Okay. So I use my movement action to get up.
Okay.
And
So you just broop, stand up.
is anybody in melee range?
The main the sort of captain guy, he's still in melee range.
Okay. So I'm going to hit
Well,
him.
him and there was 3 others that are
Oh,
around in
okay,
melee
so I'm
range
going
as
to
well.
hit him with my mace, but I can use my bonus action to move the spiritual weapon and strike with it.
Oh, before I forget, because you did take damage, you need to roll a saving throw for the concentration of the spell.
Oh. So what is that, a wisdom saving throw?
It's going to be a wisdom saving throw. Yes.
Yeah. 10.
Okay. You would need to get 15 or better.
Gotcha. Okay, so I lost control of it.
Okay.
So then I'm still just gonna strike with my mace at the main guy.
At the captain? Okay.
Yep. So I got a 22. I'm guessing that's a hit.
That is definitely a hit.
And then he takes 8 bludgeoning damage.
It's a good hit. All right.
For Michiko! Crunch.
All right. So you go and you hit him with your mace. And when your mace hits him, it grazes up against his shield. And his shield is very, very sticky.
Uh-oh.
I want you to roll a strength saving throw.
Oh no.
4.
4. Your mace gets ripped out of your hands and is now stuck to his shield.
Oh no!
Now
I
roll.
found-
Okay.
Say,
Now
say goodbye.
he comes at you with his grappling spear again, and he gets it latched around your neck once again. Roll another dexterity saving throw.
8.
8.
I'm getting bad saving throws.
All right, so he's got your mace stuck to his shield now, and he has now forced you back down onto the ground. You are prone and grappled again.
Okay.
All right, Mimi, your turn.
Okay, so for the flaming spear, let me do 6 damage.
You're gonna slam it into the captain again. Okay.
I got a 5 in total.
So he doesn't make his dexterity saving throw this time. So that means he stays on Dave. Dave continues to be grappled and held down on the ground. So you did 5 points of damage. And this captain, he's been hit a lot, but he looks like he's still got quite a bit of fight left in him. All right, so now it's the rest of the Kua-Toas that are left.
That doesn't count as my turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up with my scimitar.
You're gonna attack him with the weapon that he tried to take from you. Nice. Little poetic justice.
I got a 7.
You got a 7. That's a miss.
So it's
So,
no more.
so you're trying to be all poetic and give him the weapon that he was trying to take, and then you swipe, and you catch nothing but air. You just didn't judge the distance quite right. You haven't used your scimitar in a while, so it's like you're just a little rusty with it. That's all.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's the other Kua-Toa's turn, and they're all still up, except for those 3 that Galaxy had burned pretty bad, but they're all still fighting. So it's gonna be 3 on each of you again. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It should be 2 on each of you.
Yeah.
So I rolled too many times last time. Oh well. Maybe you get hit for 5 more points of damage.
Really?
Oh my gosh, Galaxy. I'm so sorry. Another one. The same one. Got another critical hit on you.
Uh-oh.
He has got your number. And you take 10 more points of damage.
I'm at 1.
And it was a critical hit, so you can't use that shield spell to block it. And the second one hits you. Do you want to do your reaction shield spell again to block this one? Okay. So that first guy, he's got your number. He stabs you again really good. And the second one, he's coming up. He's about to hit you too. And then you bring that shield spell up again. Now remember, every time you use this spell, it uses up one of your spell slots. You're down 2 spell slots now.
I know, but
Actually, you're down 3 because you're down 4
Use 2 spells.
because you used 2 spells
reaction.
and 2 reaction shields.
I'm level 1.
Well, no, your shield would be a level 2. So if you use 2 of your level 2, Melf's Acid Arrow would have been level 2.
You made it. I really.
And in Burning Hands, you used at level 1.
Ace acid arrow.
Right. Isn't that level 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you used 3 level 2 slots and 1 level 1 slot.
Yep. So
Make
this
sure
is
to mark that in.
Yeah, so this is something you need to keep track of.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So Dave, you were grappled on the ground and they get advantage. And they both hit you.
Uh-oh.
You take 9 points of damage. And the second one binds your hands together.
Does that mean I can't cast a spell? Well, if there's no movement piece to
Right.
it.
So I want you
Or
roll
no
it.
symbol, I mean.
Roll a strength saving throw.
12.
12.
I don't get a modifier on that one.
Actually, and roll it again. I'm going to give you disadvantage because you're down on the ground right now.
7.
7. Okay. So yep. So they run up. He stabs you, and the other one, while you're getting stabbed, he binds your hands together really, really quick.
I feel like we're gonna die.
I was not expecting these guys to be manhandling you as much as they are right now, but sometimes that's the luck of the dice. That's what makes this game so fun.
Yeah.
All right, Galaxy, it's your turn.
I will go around them and with yarn and make them go to the ground.
What?
What? You don't have a spell that does that.
No, I have yarn.
Do you have yarn written in on your character sheet?
Uh-huh.
Let me see.
Just shows you her spell sheet from 4 feet away. See, look.
Look, it's there.
I have a pillow, I have a boomerang, I have a teddy, I have pop, and I have a doorknob.
Yep. You have a doorknob? Where did you get a doorknob? Okay. Well, regardless, you don't have yarn, so can't do that. No. So what are you gonna do?
I don't know the dice.
Wait, for what though?
No, shoot your boomerang, it will go, ooh. Okay, I will do my 10.
No.
You can't use mage hand.
I just love how matter of fact. He's like, okay, fine, mage hand.
I meant burning hand.
Burning hands again. Okay.
That's level 1. Yeah.
No, she meant mage hand. Ugh.
Burning hands. They get to roll their dexterity saving throw.
I cannot stand.
And just like last time, the captain made his, but the other ones did not.
They're
So
about to drop.
roll the damage.
Okay, so
What did we say? It was 3d6?
15.
15. Wow.
Heck yes.
All right. So the captain, he takes half damage of that. But you now just killed 3 of the Kua-Toas. So there are actually only 4 of them left.
And the fire just happened to
Including the
burn through the
captain?
ropes on my arm.
Including the captain.
So the captain is still up, but he is not looking very good at this point. Dave, it is your turn
wait,
now.
no, is he drunk but he didn't drink?
How did they bind me? Did they like bind my wrists?
Yes.
Is it possible for me to get my light crossbow out?
I will say yes.
Okay, and I'm gonna shoot an arrow at the boss man who's holding me on the ground.
Not the boss man.
Nat 20.
Ooh. About time, Dave.
12 points of damage total.
12 points. Okay. So you hit him. You get him with a bolt right in the belly.
Nice.
And he's still up, but he's suddenly looking less sure about this fight. And he looks around and he disengages. He takes the thing off of your neck, but you're still on the ground, you're still prone. You got your hands bound together with your crossbow in him. And he disengages and he turns around and runs in the opposite direction.
He's got my mace stuck
Yes,
to his shield.
your mace is still stuck to his shield.
Man.
Let's run after him.
So what I do, I shoot my flaming spear at him.
What is the range that you can move the flaming
Or can
sphere?
you use don't you have like
30
an
feet.
entangle spell?
30 feet.
His speed is 30 feet too. So
I feel
yes,
like he'd be at the outer extent of
right. But I will.
it would
Yeah,
be,
yeah. But he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't fast enough to get completely out of the range of the flaming sphere.
Like this is
So yep, you can hit him with that flaming sphere.
I picture it as like as she's casting the spell, he's like maybe at 15 feet, and then it catches up to him, like right at that 30-foot mark. You know, that's what happens.
I got a 6.
You got a 6. Okay, the flaming sphere hits him in the back, and he drops to the ground.
Yeah.
Nice.
He did.
There's still 3 fish people around us right now. So what do you do with your turn?
Scimitar.
Do it. Roll it.
I'll be
15. That is a hit. Roll your damage.
6.
6. All right. So you hit one of them. He takes 6 points of damage from your scimitar. That was Mimi's turn. Now the Kua-Toa, the 3 of them that are left, they disengage and hightail it out of there and go running down the hallway towards where the captain is on the ground and where the flaming sphere is at. Galaxy,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yeah. I could do magic missile level 1 because then I would get more. I would get 4 missiles.
Right, but this would be your last spell slot, right? Then you'd be down to just your cantrips after this.
Yeah.
Okay. So magic missile is one of those few spells that
You don't have to roll
You don't
the
have to roll. It just automatically hits. You just roll the damage. So you got 3 missiles. There's 3 guys. You're gonna do 1 on each of them, or are you gonna just slam all 3 of them
I
into
need a
one?
1d4.
Right. So are you gonna attack all 3 of them, or are you just gonna try and attack one of the guys?
All 3.
All 3. Okay.
So
One.
2.
Oh, you add 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
2. 4.
All right. So you hit all 3 of them. You hit them in the back as they're running away, and they go. But they keep running.
Like this.
They're all still on their feet and running. And so now, Dave.
I'm going to get up
Okay.
and use one of the fallen. What are they called?
The creatures?
Yeah.
Kua-Toa?
I'm going to use one of the fallen.
You just call them the
Kua-Toas.
fish people,
Yeah.
too.
Okay. One of the fallen fish
You can be
people's
racist.
weapons to cut my bonds.
All right.
And would that be my full action? Otherwise, if I still get a movement, then I would head over to the
You'd still get I would say you'd still get a movement.
because I want to try and get my mace unstuck from his shield.
All right. So you make it over into that area by the flaming sphere, and you're right by your mace as well.
Yeah.
Now it is Mimi's turn again.
Okay, so
You gonna use your bonus action to move that flaming sphere into one of these guys?
Nice.
All right. So roll 2d6 for this.
I got 4 in total.
4 in total? Okay. So you move the flaming sphere towards the first guy that gets to it, and he leaps out of the way very, very deftly, and he only takes half damage. It's their turn again, and they keep on running. So now they're 60 feet away from you guys.
I think we should just let him run.
Well, it's your turn now, Galaxy.
I am going to...
You're out of
Get
spell
out.
slots.
I'm getting out my pillow. I'm just gonna
It's like, I need a rest.
And
I need a
fall
rest. I'm
asleep.
out of spell slots. I need a
fall
rest.
asleep.
Dave, you gonna do anything else?
No, I'm just gonna get my mace unstuck. I'm not gonna. I don't mind. I don't want to chase after him.
Sleep
Roll
over your
roll
mace.
a, roll a strength check for me.
17.
Nice. Okay, you do get to yank it out of the way. I was really hoping of all the misses that you had,
That this
that
would
was the
be
one.
another
Yeah, because you'd just be stuck. I'd let you grab your mace, but it would have a shield stuck to it.
And maybe I'd get lucky at one point when I was like attacking someone with it. The mace, the shield would fly off or something.
Right. Or it accidentally protects you from another attack that you
Yeah,
don't see.
or I roll a nat 20, and so then I like hit the guy, and then the shield flies off and hits another guy or something. Yeah, right.
Mimi, your turn.
Why are you putting your dice away?
Run after them.
No.
So where you're at, how far away can you control Flaming Sphere?
I mean, if it has a range, I suppose the range isn't that.
Because she can move it 30 feet, but
she might
how...
be able to go up to like 60 feet or something.
Right, that's what I'm wondering. Is like, how far away can she control this? You can control it up to 60 feet. So you could actually move it another 30 feet towards one of the creatures and do one more attack with a bonus action. You can do that?
Yes. Okay.
All right, roll the 2d6.
9.
You got 9? Oh,
Nice.
right. You kill one of them. So, but I would like to point out that, Dave, you are in almost total darkness now because the Flaming Sphere is too far away. So you could see the Flaming Sphere way down the hallway, but everything else is almost pitch black for you now.
Let me check if my priest's pack has torches in it.
So, Mimi, that was a bonus action to do that. You kill one of them, so there's 2 Kua-Toas that are left, but they're hightailing it out of there. Do you want to try and do anything else?
I'm running.
Okay. So you move 30 feet. They're still 30 feet away from you, and they use their action to run another 30 feet, and they get around a corner and disappear.
I keep running.
You're going to keep running? Okay. So, Dave, you're messing through your gear blindly, trying to see if you have any torches or candles or anything that can provide you some light. Galaxy, exhausted after all of these spells that she just slung out at these fish people, sits down on the ground and is taking
my pillow.
with her pillow and is taking a short rest right now. And Mimi is still running after the fish people. She's got a vendetta against these.
Tired.
Okay, I've got candles.
You got candles?
I light a
Okay.
candle, and then I head back to Galaxy, and I'm going to take a short rest with her.
Okay.
I was going to heal her, but then I figure I'll just wait and see what we get back, because we get to roll our hit dice.
We'll get to that in a second because Mimi's still going.
That's right.
When I sleep,
So, Mimi, you're going to keep running.
I recharge.
No, I know.
And
Take
are
a
you going
short
to keep
don't do
moving the
that.
flaming sphere with you as well so that you can use that? Okay. That's smart. So you turn the corner and you don't see the 2 fish people that are left anymore, but you do see a bunch of ripples and splashing of water, and you catch some movement towards the end of this pool. But so you're facing this watery pool now that it looks like something had just jumped into and dived underneath. You didn't see them, but this is the way that they went, and you see this pool of water that had a bunch of splashing in it. So they jumped in the water and they dove down into it.
I jump into the water.
All right, you jump into the water. You're not gonna you're not gonna be
You're
able
not
to
going to take a rest with us?
you're not gonna be able to keep that flaming sphere going. All right. So so you dive into the water, and yeah, you can see them. They're they're fish people, so they can swim really, really well. So they're flying ahead of you, but they're in the water.
Into a fish.
Is that what you do?
Yes.
Okay. Did we write on your character sheet what kind of a creature it is that you can turn into?
I think it was
A dolphin. No. A guppy. A flounder.
I think it was a shark. It was like a
cool.
reef shark. Yeah, reef shark. Okay. So you turn into a
And then I
reef.
just eat them. And when you come up to the surface and
I spit out their stuff.
You what?
After I eat them, I spit out their stuff.
Okay, no, a reef shark is not like a great white shark that could just swallow them whole.
Reef shark's a little small.
Yeah, they're kind of tiny. They're not very powerful. I mean, you can attack them and bite them, but
No.
so for example, the reef shark. Let me look this up real quick. A reef shark only has 22 hit points, and when it does a bite, the bite is a 1d8 plus 2.
I'm gonna bite.
All right, so you closed it. So as good of swimmers as the Kua-Toa are, you're a shark, so you're able to close the distance on them very, very quickly. And so because they're hightailing it out of there, let's see, do they notice you? They do not notice you. I'm going to give you a surprise attack, so I will give you advantage on this bite.
A 3.
The highest one was a 3.
Yes. The other one was a one.
Okay, so you went up to bite one of them, and you're not used to being a shark. This is your first time being a shark. So you go out to bite, and you try and nip at one of them on the butt, and they manage to scurry out of the way, no problem. And you hear, "Boo!" They get startled. They both turn around.
This is a.
All right, Mimi, it's you and the two Kua-Toa. Roll initiative.
Oh, dang, I hate that.
It's a fight.
It's a fight. Mimi's having a fight on her
I
own.
got a 9.
You got a 9? They got an 8, so you get to go first. All right, but you're a shark. All right, so you're gonna are you gonna bite him, or are you gonna swim away, or what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna bite.
You gonna bite? All right.
I'm not ending until they are gone and dead.
Okay, bite him. Roll a 20-sider.
I got a 4.
You got a 4.
I did so much.
Yep. So you go out to bite them again, and they swim out of the way. So they're both going to attack you now, and they both hit.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. So the first one you take 9 damage, and the second one you take 5 damage. So you take 14 in total. So as a shark, as a reef shark, you have 22 hit points. So you just took 14. So that leaves you. So you've got 8 hit points left.
I'm trying to figure that out.
All right, now it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna go bite.
You're gonna bite him again. All right,
If I
roll.
die, you guys are saving me.
No, we're not.
I got a 14.
14. That's good enough to hit. All right, so your bite attack as a reef shark is 1d8 plus 2. So roll a d8 and then add 2 to it.
Okay. I got a 3.
Is that with the 2? You got 3 total. Oh boy. All right, they're both going to attack you again. And they both hit.
Uh-oh.
And you take... So the first attack hits you and reduces you to 0 hit points as a shark. So you turn back into Mimi underwater. So then the second one hit you, and you take 8 more points of damage in your regular Mimi elven form. So subtract 8 from your hit points there. And you're now an elf. You're underwater. You can't breathe underwater.
So I have 17 hit points, so I just swim up and go to take a quick rest.
I would just leave
So
us.
she's running away.
Okay, so you're gonna disengage and run away. So one thing I should point out is that as a shark, you can swim much further and faster than as an elf. So roll a perception check for me real quick. Is that including your modifier for perception checks? So you got 11? Okay. So, all right, so you're underwater now, and you try and get away from the Kua-Toas, and you start swimming away. You start swimming up to get to the surface, and when you get to the surface, you hit rock. There's no longer open water above you. So when you were swimming as a shark, you followed these Kua-Toas down into an area that was further down in the rocks. So you have to swim further back before you can get to an area of the water where you can break the surface. So that was your turn. So you moved away from them, and they were not interested in continuing the fight either. So they took off the other way. But because you're starting, I want you to roll I'm not quite sure how this works. So I'm just going to make this up.
Yeah.
Roll a Constitution check for me.
14.
14? All right. You're able to hold your breath, so you're okay. So do you want to keep swimming in your elven form, or do you want to try and do something else?
I want to get out of this thing.
Okay. So you're going to keep swimming.
Yes.
All right, so you swim 30 feet. You still haven't broken the surface of the water yet. I want you to roll another Constitution check for me.
I got a 15.
15? All right. You're still good? All right. You swim another 30 feet, and you do now finally break the surface of the water, and you take a big gasping breath as the water comes off of your head, and you can breathe the cold cavern air again.
Then we take a nice rest.
Mimi comes back to you too,
I was just starting to get worried about you.
dripping water head to toe. She looks a little worse for wear.
Bleeding from wounds.
Yep.
I'm not letting you hold
Come
Teddy.
have a seat.
All
Have
right.
we got like a little fire going at this point?
You tell me.
Oh, I suppose what would we use to light a fire? We don't have any wood. We're down in a cavern. So we're just sitting
I
around my
have
candle.
wood.
Where do you have wood? You have firewood, like, just in your backpack?
You carry around a bundle of firewood?
I doubt it. So we're sitting around my candle that I lit.
pull out my sleeping bag.
Maybe eating a little bit of rations and
All right.
just resting.
So-
I pull out
Mimi,
my
I think, is...
matches.
You have matches? That's great.
And I would.
No, you don't. Nobody has wood. Nobody is just carrying around. You could. I'll tell you what. You could start a fire, but you have to burn your boomerang. So everyone has a chance to roll hit dice to get hit points back. So Birdie, you have 4. Everyone's at level 4, so everyone has 4 hit dice. So you could roll 4d6 right now and get those hit points back.
I thought I was done.
So, but Mimi, because you're a druid, I believe your hit dice is a d8. Look on your character sheet where it says...
It's under your hit points.
1d8, yeah.
Okay, so you could roll 4d8, and that's how many hit points you could get back.
4.
And the same for Dave.
Same for Dave.
I got 12 more.
Okay, so you get 12 hit points back now. So you were at 1 before, so how many do you have now then?
13
13.
now.
All right, so after this hour-long rest, you have 13 hit points now.
And I got 18 back, which was more than enough to fill me up. So are you full again, Mimi, or Galaxy?
I'm so figuring. I have 13.
You got 13 back, but you were at 1?
No. Yeah. I got
She has a
9
total of
hit
13.
Total of 13. Okay.
I got 9
So I'll
hit
heal
points
her
back.
I'll heal her some more when our short rest is over.
I got okay.
You only got 9 hit points?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
8.
So she's 8 shy.
Okay. So then I think the best thing to do, since I have to heal both of them. All right, so Galaxy.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, I just roll. How much? Yeah, I just roll. I don't have
Give
to roll
me
like
a
You just walk over, touch her. and-
million by.
10. You get 10 hit points.
And I
And you're
have
at
23, and that is over my
Yeah,
thing.
so you're full.
I'm full.
And
So,
then
so you should be
Mimi-
back to 22.
Mimi, you get 14 hit points back.
That's more than I need.
All
So
right.
you're full up too. And I got full from my hit dice, so we're all healed up.
So you guys take your rest. Birdie, I think you actually do get some spell slots back. So for wizards, it's called an arcane recovery.
That's
Birdie,
right.
Yeah.
you have learned to regain some of your magical energy by studying your spell book. So during this rest, you sat down, you pulled out your book, you started studying it. And so once per day, when you finish a short rest, you can choose expended spell slots to recover. The spell slots can have a combined level that is equal to or less than half your wizard level rounded up. And none of the slots can be 6th level or higher. So because you're level 4 right now, you can choose to get 1 level 2 spell
I'm
slot
not level
back.
4.
Yes, you are.
I'm level 2.
No,
you're
no,
level
no.
4.
It's a little
You're at-
confusing.
you're- yeah.
Your character is level 4, but you have level 2 spells available to you. Birdie, you can choose to get back 1 level 2 spell slot or 2 level 1 spell slots.
1 level 2.
1 level 2? All right. So you guys are rested up as much as you can be after sitting down for an hour, studying your spell book.
Yes.
What do you do now?
I go back and do that pool to see if they're still there.
Okay, you want to keep going after the fish
Yeah, I'll
people.
go with.
Okay.
I said I will not rest until I find out.
Okay. So are you going to change into a shark again to swim through there?
I'm going to if she's going, I'm going too. I'm going to drink my potion of water breathing.
And
Okay.
I'm going to pray to have Bacon back.
Well, Bacon can't breathe water, so Bacon would not be able to help you in this situation.
Mimi, or
No,
Galaxy,
I want him to come back.
Galaxy, do you have any spells that allow you to breathe water?
You have I forget what it's called. It's like, is it transformation? But it's a spell that you can transform yourself to have claws or horns.
Also, she could have gills.
She could change herself so that she could have gills. I forget what the name of the spell is.
Is it like
Let me look.
alter self?
Alter self.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
Yep, that is it. Yes. So is that a level 2 spell?
Level 2, yeah.
It is level 2. Oh, that's a good thing. Then that's the spell slot that you chose
I'm lucky.
to get back from our short rest. So you swim for hundreds of feet in the ilky black water, and you come out on the other side. There's nobody around, but you can definitely see that there's footprints that are leading from the water. I assume that you keep following them.
Indeed.
You keep following them. And eventually, you come to a large stone door. It looks very similar to the stone door that we went through a long time ago when we first got into the ruins, there was that big stone door that had the mace slot in it that Dave stuck his mace into and opened it up. This one doesn't have that slot though, but the door looks very similar. It looks very old, looks very thick and big. What do you do?
Doesn't have the mace slot.
Does not have the mace slot. It's a smooth, well, not smooth, but it's a rough, rocky, unbroken surface, but with a big seam that runs down the middle. So it looks like the door opens up in the middle.
I'm going to try and push it.
Nothing happens.
Open sesame.
The door starts to open. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And the door opens up, but on the other side are 50 Kua-Toa.
Close sesame, close sesame.
The door keeps opening, and there's one, and this is when you notice that there's one Kua-Toa that's standing out in front, and he is holding up a staff that's glowing, and you surmise that it's actually him that opened the door, not you saying "open sesame." And one of the Kua-Toa that's standing next to him is one of the Kua-Toa that ran away from you. And he's got Guy's pot on top of his head. And there's now 50 of these Kua-Toa all pointing their spears at you.